wife, whom I forgave for cheating in college and gave everything she wanted. Before we dive in, just a small favor. If you like stories filled with drama, twists, and real emotion, hit that subscribe button and support the channel. That way, you'll never miss out on content that keeps you hooked. I have been married to Trisha, 40F, for 15 years. Our story began in college, where I met her through my roommate, Tom. Trisha was studying business administration while I was in engineering. She and Tom dated for almost 2 years, and I saw them as the perfect couple. Trisha was always fun to be around. She lit up every room she entered and made everyone feel special. She had a reputation for being flirtatious, but I never thought much of it since she seemed genuinely in love with Tom. Things changed during our final semester when Tom got accepted into a graduate program abroad. He and Trisha tried long distance for a few months, but eventually broke up. Trisha is devastated, and I found myself spending more time with her, initially just as a friend. We would study together at the library, grab coffee between classes, and sometimes watch movies in my apartment. Over time, our friendship grew closer, and by the end of the semester, we started dating. Everything seemed perfect until 3 months into our relationship, when I discovered something that shattered my world. A mutual friend revealed that Trisha had cheated on me with her study partner, Mike, just before graduation while we were already dating. When I confronted her, she broke down completely. She admitted to sleeping with Mike during a study session when they were both stressed about finals. She begged for forgiveness, crying about how young and stupid she was, and promised it would never happen again. I was completely devastated. I had trusted her entirely, and this betrayal hit me hard. I spent weeks unable to eat or sleep properly, questioning everything about our relationship. My friends advised me to break up with her, warning that once a cheater, always a cheater. Patricia showed genuine remorse. She cut off all contact with Mike, gave me access to her phone and email, and did everything possible to rebuild trust. After 3 months of consideration, I decided to give her another chance. We got married a year later in a small ceremony attended by close family and friends. Trisha came from a modest background. Her father was a high school teacher, and her mother worked part-time at a local store. She always dreamed of having a luxury lifestyle, but never had the means. Growing up, I promised her that I would work hard to give her everything she wanted, and she believed in me. My journey in construction began under my uncle Robert, who owned a small renovation company. I started at the bottom, working as a site supervisor while learning every aspect of the business. For 3 years, I worked 80-hour weeks, often coming home covered in dust and exhausted. Trisha worked as a receptionist at a law firm. During this time, we lived in a small one-bedroom apartment, saving every penny we could. She never complained about our modest lifestyle, always encouraging me to learn more and grow in the business. After gaining solid experience, I took a huge risk and started my own construction company. I used our savings and took out a substantial loan, putting everything on the line. The first few years were incredibly tough. We lived in a tiny apartment above a noisy restaurant, and I reinvested every cent back into the business. Trisha supported me through it all, handling our household finances and even helping with paperwork on weekends. She believed in my vision and stood by me through the hardest times. Our breakthrough came when I met James, 45M, at a business conference. He had an impressive track record in the construction industry and showed interest in my company's potential. After several meetings, I brought him in as a business partner. He bought 30% stake in the company and brought valuable industry connections. James and I clicked immediately. He was smart, charismatic, and seemed genuinely invested in our success. With his network and my technical expertise, we became one of the top construction firms in our state within 3 years. As the company grew, I finally could fulfill my promise to Trisha. We bought a beautiful 5-bedroom house with a pool in an upscale neighborhood. I got her the luxury car. She always a Mercedes for daily use and a Porsche for weekends. She had unlimited budget for designer clothes, and we took international vacations twice a year. Trisha quit her receptionist job to pursue her passion for interior design. I was working crazy hours managing multiple projects, but seeing her happy made it all worthwhile. Life was perfect until the recession hit last year. The real estate market crashed, and several of our major projects got delayed or canceled. Our competitors started drastically undercutting prices, making it hard to win new contracts. James strongly advised that we should cut costs by laying off workers and downsizing operations. I refused to fire employees who had been loyal to us from the start. This created tension between James and me, but I stood firm on my decision. 2 weeks ago, Trisha told me she wanted to talk after dinner. I noticed she had been distant lately, constantly checking her phone and making excuses to leave the room for calls. Throughout dinner, she barely touched her food and kept looking at her phone. After dinner, she dropped a bomb that destroyed my world. She was leaving me for James. They had been seeing each other for the past year. She claimed she fell in love with him because he was more emotionally available while I was always working. I felt like someone had punched me in the gut. The woman I had forgiven and spent 15 years building a life with was leaving me for my business partner and friend. When I confronted James the next day at the office, he was completely unapologetic. He actually had the audacity to say Trisha deserved better than being married to a workaholic who made her feel guilty about a college mistake. This was absolute nonsense. I had never once brought up her past cheating. After forgiving her through some loyal employees, I later discovered that James had been secretly buying out our struggling competitors at dirt cheap prices, while advising me to downsize our company. He used insider information to approach our clients and vendors, offering them better deals. Through his newly acquired companies, Trisha had access to all our financial documents. Since I trusted her completely with both personal and business matters, she had been feeding confidential information to James for months. I feel like a complete fool for trusting them both. The two people I trusted most in the world conspired behind my back to destroy everything I spent years building. I've already started legal proceedings against James for breach of contract and corporate espionage. Trisha moved in with him last week and is demanding half of everything in the divorce, including my company's shares. I don't know how I'll recover from this level of betrayal, but I know I have to fight back. I won't let them destroy what I built. Update 1. It's been 2 weeks since my last post, and things have gotten much worse. Just when I thought I was starting to process the initial shock of their betrayal, I discovered something that sent me into a whole new level of anger and disbelief. Trisha had emptied our joint accounts totaling $245,000 before I could freeze them. This included our emergency fund and the money we had saved for potential business expansion. When I confronted her through a text message, her response left me speechless. She claimed she deserved every penny for putting up with my supposed guilt trips about her college cheating for the past 12 years. This blindsided me completely. I had never once brought up her past mistake after forgiving her. In fact, I had gone out of my way to show her I had moved past it by trusting her with every aspect of our lives, including sensitive company information. The way she has twisted my forgiveness and trust into some sort of manipulation tactic is making me question every moment of our marriage. She's now telling our mutual friends that I constantly used her past mistake to control her, making her feel indebted to me. Nothing could be further from the truth. I had completely forgotten about the college incident until she brought it up. Now, on the business front, James has been systematically destroying every relationship I've built over the years. He's using Trisha's inside knowledge to contact all our major clients and vendors. The depth of their betrayal became clear when one of our oldest clients called me yesterday. James had contacted them, claiming our company was on the verge of bankruptcy and might not be able to complete ongoing projects. He then offered to take over their projects at significantly lower rates through his newly acquired companies. Several other clients have already canceled their contracts with us after similar calls from James. He's using the insider information Trisha provided about our pricing and project timelines to undercut us completely. The worst part is that these were clients I had personal relationships with, people who trusted me with their projects for years. Yesterday, I discovered more details about how James had been sabotaging our deals for months before this all came out. He would intentionally find minor issues in contracts to delay signings, nitpicking every detail until clients grew frustrated. Then, coincidentally, his other companies would approach these same clients with better offers. I was too trusting to see the pattern. Then my secretary, Maria, who has been with the company for 8 years, finally came forward with some disturbing information. She revealed that Trisha had been visiting James's office 3 to 4 times every week during lunch breaks. Always when I was scheduled for meetings or site visits, she would claim she was dropping off documents or discussing interior design plans for our office renovation. Now it's clear they were using these meetings to plan their betrayal and exchange company information. The most painful part of all this is how Trisha is playing the victim in our social circle. She's telling everyone that I was emotionally abusive and used her past mistake to control her throughout our marriage. She claims she finally found the courage to leave when she met James, who showed her what real love and respect looks like. It makes me sick to my stomach how she's rewriting our entire history to justify her actions. While my company is struggling to stay afloat, Trisha is living her best life in James's beach house. She's constantly posting photos of their luxury vacations and fancy dinners on social media, tagging mutual friends and family members. It's like she's purposely trying to show everyone how happy she is now that she's free from her supposedly controlling husband. James is now threatening a hostile takeover. Since he owns 30% of the company, he's using his business connections to pressure our remaining clients and make our financial situation even worse. My lawyer says we have a strong case for corporate espionage and breach of contract, but the legal battle could take years. Meanwhile, I'm struggling to keep the company running and maintain the trust of the employees who depend on us for their livelihoods. I've had to take out a personal loan just to make payroll this month. The loyal employees who know the truth have offered to take pay cuts to help the company survive, but I can't accept their sacrifice. These are the same people James wanted me to fire months ago. Their loyalty now makes me even more determined to fight back and save what I built. Trisha's family, who I treated like my own for 15 years, have completely sided with her narrative. Her father, who I helped financially during his medical emergency last year, now refuses to speak to me. They believe I'm an abusive husband who got what he deserved. Only my sister and a few close friends know the full truth and are supporting me through this nightmare. Update 2. It's been 3 months since Trisha left, and I've been uncovering more disturbing details about their betrayal. Multiple company employees have come forward with information they were afraid to share earlier. The full scope of their deception is worse than I imagined. Our annual Christmas party last year was apparently where their affair started. One of the event staff remembered seeing them in an intimate conversation on the balcony while I was giving a speech thanking our employees for a successful year. They stayed out there for over an hour, and Trisha later claimed she had a headache and went home early. I stayed late to celebrate with the team, completely unaware that my wife and business partner were planning to destroy everything I had built. After the Christmas party, their meetings became more frequent. Trisha would visit James's office 2 or 3 times every week, always during my lunch meetings or site visits. They timed these meetings perfectly using my calendar that Trisha had access to. My assistant kept a record of these visits, noting that they often lasted much longer than necessary for dropping off documents. What's most shocking is the level of planning that went into their betrayal. James had been orchestrating this for over a year. He used Trisha's access to our company's financial records and client information to systematically undermine our business. Trisha provided him with copies of contracts, client contact details, project timelines, and confidential pricing information. She even gave him access to my personal email where many clients communicated directly with me. Our IT team recently discovered a secret email account they use to communicate about company details and their plans. The emails show them discussing which clients to target and how to make our company appear unstable. They even celebrated when major clients canceled contracts with us, knowing their plan was working. Reading these emails made me physically sick. Several long-term employees came forward with evidence of their deception. Our head of sales remembered James intentionally missing important client meetings, then using those delays to approach clients through his other companies. Our project manager recalled Trisha asking unusually detailed questions about client relationships and project margins, information she later passed to James. My attorney says we have enough evidence to prove corporate espionage. The emails, witness statements, and financial records clearly show their coordinated effort to damage our company. We're preparing to file criminal charges against both of them. The thought of Trisha facing criminal charges is painful, but she chose this path when she decided to betray not just me, but everyone who worked hard to build this company. The most shocking revelation came last week when James's ex-wife, Emma, reached out to me. She saw our story in local business news and felt compelled to warn me. Apparently, this wasn't James's first time pulling this scheme. In his previous business ventures, he had a pattern of befriending business partners, seducing their wives, and then using insider information to take over their companies. Emma discovered similar schemes during their marriage and left him after finding evidence of multiple affairs with his business partners' wives. She tried warning people in their business circle, but James's charm and connections always helped him maintain his reputation. She provided documents showing how he had destroyed 3 other businesses using similar tactics. Some of our remaining clients have also started sharing stories of how James and Trish approached them. They would invite clients to expensive dinners where Trisha would share concerns about our company's stability, while James offered to take over their projects through his other companies. They used my own money, the funds Trisha stole from our joint accounts, to wine and dine our clients while plotting to steal them. Update 3: It's been 6 months since my original post, and the situation has taken several unexpected turns. Trisha tried reaching out to me last week after James dumped her for his 25-year-old secretary, Amy. She called from different numbers after I blocked her, even showed up at my office crying, claiming she had made the biggest mistake of her life. Through mutual friends, I learned that James had been cheating on Trisha for months with Amy. Apparently, he started pursuing Amy just weeks after Trisha moved in with him. Trisha discovered their affair when she found intimate messages on James's iPad. When she confronted him, he coldly told her that their relationship had served its purpose and he was moving on. Trisha's attempt to reconcile was pathetic. She sent long emails about how she regretted leaving me, claiming James had manipulated her with lies about our company's future. She said she realized too late that I was the only one who truly loved her. The same woman who accused me of emotional abuse and controlling behavior was now begging for another chance. I blocked her email without responding. The criminal charges we filed against James scared away his other business partners. They cut all ties after learning about his pattern of corporate espionage. 2 other companies came forward with similar stories about James using insider information to damage their businesses. His reputation in the industry is completely destroyed. Most of our major clients returned after discovering how James had manipulated them. One of our biggest clients, Lisa, was particularly helpful in exposing James's schemes. She shared recordings of meetings where James and Trisha deliberately spread false information about our company's stability. These recordings became crucial evidence in our legal case. I sold the house Trisha loved so much and moved to a smaller place closer to work. The divorce was finalized last month, and Trisha got much less than she expected. Her involvement in corporate espionage significantly impacted the settlement. The judge was particularly harsh after seeing evidence of how she helped sabotage the company while living off its profits. Trisha's life has completely fallen apart. James kicked her out of his beach house, and she's now living in a small apartment with her sister. None of her so-called friends from her luxury lifestyle stuck around. She's been looking for work, but her reputation makes it difficult. Last I heard, she's working as a sales clerk at a furniture store. The company is slowly recovering. We won back most of our clients and even secured some new major projects. The employees who stood by me during the crisis now have equity shares in the company. I've restructured the business to prevent anyone from having the level of access James had. I started dating Lisa 3 months ago. We grew close while working together to expose James's schemes. Unlike Trisha, Lisa built her own successful business and understands the challenges of entrepreneurship. She's honest, independent, and genuinely cares about me. For the first time in months, I feel hopeful about my personal life. James's other victims have reached out to form a support network. We're working with authorities to prevent him from harming more businesses. His ex-wife, Emma, has been particularly supportive, helping us understand his manipulation tactics. The betrayal still hurts when I think about it, but I'm focusing on rebuilding my life. The experience taught me valuable lessons about trust in business and relationships. I've become more cautious, but not bitter. My company is growing again, and I'm surrounded by loyal people who stood by me through the worst times.